Need more wine. Hey guys, welcome to the live stream. Here we are. We got 7 people here. Nice. Come on.
I'm always late to the party.
He's late to the party. He was getting some food and cycling on his bicycle downstairs.
Always
Training. So how's the volume? How's everything? Can you guys hear us and see everything okay? Looks like the volume is low. Can't tell. That's off. Okay. Well, tonight we got a fun. Okay. Sparky says 1978 howdy. Says howdy. All right, howdy. Here we are. So we got a little bit of a recipe, nothing complicated, but we're going to use bacon, so that's fun. Yeah. And we're going to talk about our fake identity as homesteaders, I guess. I've wrote up some talking points because I think people think when they look at our channel, they see Colorado mountain living and they think, ooh, look at this, these guys building their house in the wild and we're going to be off grid. And we even had some videos about being off grid until we decided to go on grid. And well,
on grid is really cheap, actually.
On grid's really convenient and fast. Right. And we were at a point where we needed to really make things happen fast. Yeah.
We needed some electricity.
Yeah. Hello from Sweden. Wow, must be late over there. Jeez. Must be midnight or something. Oh, the snow blowing videos? Yeah, those are fun. Yeah, I feel like I am always taking a walk with Vigo in the woods, but now I go every day with a camera because I'm like, okay, who knows what you're going to see. Every day is something different. So Ireland.
Wow, we're worldwide now.
Yeah, well, we've been. I'm getting the broccoli ready. We're going to do pan roasted broccoli with bacon. So that's what we're going to have tonight with some another product, bacon wrapped chicken. Here, chat people up while I'm getting this ready.
So those chicken wraps are really good. We've had them before. Really tasty. Lots of cheese in them.
I'm not going to say these are the healthiest things, but they are kind of a nice to have. It's kind of like a cheese stuffed chicken and it's bacon wrapped, but you do have to bake them in the oven for 35, 40 minutes. So it's going to go well with our bacon thing. There'll be a lot of bacon going on.
It's our paleo theme for the night, I guess.
Lower carb, I suppose.
So what else is on your list of what?
Well.
But we're not self-sustainable.
We talked about all this stuff in our intro video that we wanted a homestead to be self-sustainable. We wanted to be able to grow our own food, and
but there's just not enough time in the day to do all that stuff. You can't have full-time jobs and build a house from scratch on a lot that's not ready for a house and all that kind of stuff. So it's just not practical to do all that stuff.
Right? Yeah. So I said that what we're doing instead is working full time and having YouTube on the side, We're getting to see how real people do it that aren't full time YouTubers or full time homesteaders. So it's kind of like the regular man's way of making it all happen.
We try to do as much as we can ourselves, for sure. And
so I'm gonna
just can't do it all.
Yeah, I'm gonna chop up some broccoli. And you get it in the bag. Sometimes there's like really big pieces. So.
Northern Idaho, 40-acre property. Sparky says Northern Idaho, 40-acre property, currently renting 45 minutes away from Washington. We can build our shop and our house. Cool.
Hi, Joanna. Joanna's on.
Oh, okay.
Welcome, guys. This is her first one. Joanna, I know you've been trying to get our live streams in. It never seems like we're inconvenient for timing. So welcome.
Michael asked what kind of experience we had before we started building our home. Well, I had a father who did all his own stuff. He was an engineer, did all kinds of remodels, built all kinds of stuff. So I guess I inherited some of that. And I did a lot of remodeling type work before going back to school for medicine. So I had some of that background, so that helped. And I watched a lot of YouTube, and I'm not afraid to try and fail. So
yeah, I think that's a lot of it. People don't do this kind of stuff because you might fail. And
Hi, Rodney.
Yeah. So, did someone call you a fraud? No. Well, I think it's just been, it had been going around on YouTube years ago where folks were calling other folks out as being homesteading frauds because they weren't really, 100% self-sustainable and, not farming and things like that. And I feel like we kind of fall into that category. I use the word homestead a lot in the video titles and the things. I think that what we have, our land is like a homestead. We're going to build more structures on it. And I think that's the technical definition of a homestead is multiple structures on one property. So technically we're there. All right, guys, if you're just joining in, we're doing pan roasted broccoli with bacon for flavoring. People probably wonder as a nutritionist, why do I recommend bacon? But I'm just recommending it for seasoning and for flavoring. So it provides a great way for you to eat more broccoli is to put a little bacon in it. So it's a great way to kind of get your veggies in, get a lot of nutrients here.
Yeah, and we don't eat much bacon at all.
Yeah.
Maybe twice a month, I think. I
have some pre-cooked slices. I'm just going to cut these up and put them throughout the broccoli.
It's also good with Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
I'm not a Brussels sprouts fan, but if you do them like Amy's doing the broccoli with the bacon, they're really good.
And I prefer to get thick cut bacon. We don't have our own pigs. We don't make our own bacon. So, we have to get it from the store like regular people.
We have a friend who does all that. Stony Ridge farmer.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks know Josh. Josh has told a lot of people about our channel, so we thank him for that.
He's got cows, chickens, bees, all this stuff.
Remember when he came to visit and he brought us that pork?
Oh yeah,
that was awesome. So I guess the one thing we don't have any animals. We don't have any livestock. Well, we don't have any farm animals, but we do have livestock. We have bees. So
hi, Ronnie.
So I know, Joanna. Did you eat yet? Because we're making dinner. Brian's hungry because he just finished his bicycle ride.
Yeah, and I had to go swimming before that, so I'm starving.
Second workout of the day. Okay, my hands are all baking.
Sparky says he's got a coyote as well.
Oh, the tractor?
Yeah.
Nice.
That looks like it might be much bigger than ours.
Okay, here's the pan so far. We got bacon in our broccoli, and now I'm gonna put a little seasoning on it. So I'm gonna put a little bit of garlic powder, not too much. Brian, don't want to have garlic breath.
Carl says it's 1:30 a.m. in Sweden.
Oh my God, that's so awesome. Wow, I'm late.
You are up late.
When was the last time we saw 1 a.m.?
New Year's.
New Year's, probably.
New Year's in Vermont.
So a little bit of salt, even though there'll be some salt from the bacon. Okay, now this is going to go in the oven at 375 for about 20 minutes, and then I'll have to kind of stir things around a little bit. All right, so.
Oh, hi, Ronnie. He heard about us from Stony Ridge.
Oh, nice. Okay. Oh, Rocky Top. You said something that got deleted. Remote.
No, we're 15 minutes from the closest town.
Yeah, the grocery store.
We are at the end. We are in like a dead end valley, so you can't drive all the way through. Mm-hmm. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably 8 neighbors that you can see from our house. Of course, we're on a hill, so you can see quite a bit.
Yeah.
So.
No, Joanna did not put olive oil on it, but I'm going to see how it does as the bacon kind of grease melts a little bit. Sometimes it depends on how crispy you want it. You can add a little bit more oil. Sometimes I let it less oil on the pan, and so it's just a little bit more less crispy. So it's completely up to you how you want to do it. Rocky Top says he only checked in for Vigo.
Vigo is right where he always is, in the way.
He's right here in front of the stove in the kitchen during dinner time. That's pretty much what he does all the time at dinner time. He just curls right up in front of the stove so he doesn't miss anything.
Vigo, you want to say hi?
I've been considering Colorado to purchase. Trying to find the best area. Gosh.
Yeah, 35 acres.
I know there's a lot. Well, it depends what kind of terrain you want, but there's a lot for sale. Remember when we looked in Steamboat and there was a lot of really big acreage parcels for like the 30-acre stuff, but it was just all ranch land. So maybe that's what you want. I don't know.
There was some in North Route County. You probably have to go further west as well, or maybe Buena Vista, the mountains area.
There's probably a lot of land on the western slope. A lot of people move out there because it's a little bit more mild than where we are at in the mountains. It's a little bit longer winter. So
it's
some people
pretty deserty though out there, like Grand Junction area and stuff.
Yeah. So it's tough. If you want like the alpine trees, you kind of have to live in the alpine elevations. So you do get that wintry weather.
There are some lots right across from us. They're 15 to 20 acres. Right.
Okay. Okay. Cassie says, hello from a fellow Coloradan, starting your first garden this year. Awesome. And it is possible to grow certain things, still figuring it out. This will be coming up on our 4th summer trying to grow stuff. But I think to grow really cool things like tomatoes, greenhouse is probably what you're going to need. What I've heard there, you know what you can do is also go to classes for the extension offices, the agricultural extension offices. We had some up here and I've done a couple of those classes, and you get to talk to the locals, you get to talk to the extension agent, and they really tell you what grows. You get the straight truth from them, what actually grows up here. But it's very different, depends what your situation is. We can probably grow more because we're on a sunny slope, gets tons of sun, than someone like deep in the canyon in the woods where they don't really get hardly anything. So anyway.
Yeah, if you take our trail right around the ridge, they have the really big, thick pine trees there. And they don't get any sun in the wintertime. So
yeah,
it's the snow's there until it's really warm out. So.
Hello, DP. Just curious if anybody's on that is new, has not been to our channel before, is just kind of curious, trying to learn about Colorado mountain living. I think what we're trying to do with our channel is show people what it's like to live up in the mountains. And we're trying to tell folks, what our experience has been transitioning here. We used to live in North Carolina. We both lived there for 15 years. And very different, opposite climate, it's humid and it's sunny, it's warm most of the time. And now we are, experiencing a longer winter. It can snow through April pretty much. And, just trying to figure out the difference between living in the city versus living in the country. We're definitely rural. We're not, there's no Walmarts or TJ Maxx's up here, which is great. It's about an hour drive down to go to Costco to stock up, or the bigger grocery stores. So.
Hi, Steve.
Steve from New York. He has not been here live. That's cool. Nice. Well, we're just kind of getting into the live streams, and we never really done those yet with the channel. I've done a few in the past years, but not as like a sit down and talk and chat with folks. So it's a little bit more fun when I can actually read the comments. But the greenhouses, I think if you build your structure about bigger than a 10 by 12, Joanna, to answer your question, is you have to follow the building codes up here, which have strict wind codes. So that it has to, what's the code for the house?
130 miles an hour.
130 mile an hour wind building codes, whatever that means. So there was
we never see 130 miles an hour.
Wow.
That might shake the foundation a bit.
Yeah. So, hey, Roger from Maine.
Oh, nice. Another snowy area.
Got family in Maine. Yeah. Been there. That's nice. But so, we're kind of, and I grew up in Vermont, and Brian grew up in Connecticut. So we're kind of used to the New England-y sort of winters, and they last, right? I mean, you definitely have snow through sometimes April, March for sure. Sometimes you get your most March, but it's not unusual.
Yeah, we're gonna have snow, but in another week and a half, we're probably gonna have 45 degrees. And when it's 45 degrees here, it's really warm. It's nice. You can be outside in just the long sleeve t-shirt. Yeah. As long as it's not wicked windy. So
remember when we first we were clearing the trees for our driveway the first time we came up here, and you were cutting the trees down, and suddenly it's like, wow, I need to get down to my t-shirt. I'm overdressed. And then it was like snowing at the same time.
It was, yeah.
It was snowing.
The sun just really warms you up because it's really dry, so you don't get that humidity. that kind of bites through you when it's
Mhm.
cold. So.
Yeah, and it's it's the altitude. It just you're closer to the sun, and the sun feels hotter. Yeah.
Roger says it's gonna be 50 there.
50 in Maine. Wow, jeez.
71.
71 in Corpus Christi. Joanna? Did you guys get snow? I mean, you are south. That's got to be the most south part of Texas. But I didn't know if like the entire state got froze, or if it was like half the state. I didn't really follow. I was guilty. Didn't really follow the story too close, but felt bad. We got family in Texas, so
yeah. My parents live right on Lake Texoma, and they got frozen in for a little while. So.
Mm-hmm. Great place. Hey. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's still pretty snowy out. I mean, you guys have seen it. It's actually snowing lightly right now. It's just a light snow. But I did a bad thing yesterday. I did not plow the driveway for Brian.
I didn't get up it.
He did not make it up the driveway last night. So he had to walk up with a backpack full of groceries.
With my sneakers.
Because
I didn't take my boots with me.
I didn't know this. Suddenly I was like, oh, I didn't know you were home. Well, he snuck up because his car is parked at the bottom of the driveway.
Thanks for plowing.
Snow blowing. I mean, I would have. I didn't have any. It was so sunny though. I thought the snow was melting. It was like 40, the sun. So I was like, oh, he'll be fine.
But right now we've got about that much ice under the snow because it had gotten really slushy.
Mm-hmm.
So this coming week, hopefully it'll warm up and we can scrape it down. So
yeah. So they get high winds out there. Steve Farm says 85 miles an hour. Wow.
Oh,
Wow, that's really bad. So what did our house inspector say? He was telling me a story about how someone had just put up like a single wall and, they weren't finished yet, but apparently like it was a high wind day and it was completely gone. Like the walls they had put up, it was all knocked over.
Our neighbor had put up his ice shield. He put ice shield on the entire roof and came back and it was completely all gone. It was in the trees.
Oh, yeah. And it blew up our driveway. I remember that.
Yeah. So
that was on their shed.
Yep.
All right.
So an ice shield is not cheap.
I'm flipping the broccoli. Or at least just stirring it up a little bit. Oh, that's going to be good. Might turn it up to 400 just to speed it up.
Let's see. Vico is always in front of the oven.
Yeah.
So you can never get any work done.
This cookie sheet also had bacon grease on it from when I cooked that bacon earlier. So, whoops, I dropped one. Looking good. I'd say 10 more minutes, 15.
David Smith. Is that David Smith from North Carolina? I know a David Smith from North Carolina.
Well, there is a David Smith viewer that's been with us for a long time. So
15 minutes to figure out why the live chat is gone.
Uh-oh.
There we are. PC from Naples, Florida, 79 degrees. Cool, Mike. Our kids live in Tampa, so I'm sure it's pretty warm there too.
Australia. Is it the next day in Australia? What's going on? I think it's the next day.
It was the next day in Sweden.
Oh, yeah. Wow. So there's a lot of ice, Joanna said. The wind chill got to 1 degree. God, you must have been dying. Oh, God, that's terrible even when you have a wood stove. It's just terrible. Although
we don't really go outside when it's 1 degree.
People are like, oh, how can you stand it with winter? But it's almost kind of like people in the summer in the South,
Maybe it's in Eastern Kentucky.
Oh, nice. You don't really go outside in the middle of the day in North Carolina. It's 95 and humid. You just don't. You stay inside. So when it's like really extreme weather, you just stay inside. It's cozy. It's nice, pretty out the window.
I lived in Phoenix one time for 3 years, and I would ride my bike to work and come home. It was 112 degrees, and that wasn't pleasant.
It stuck with you. You're like,
I don't care how dry the heat is. It's like having an oven door opened in your face.
Yeah.
So
Wetmore, Colorado.
Oh, where's that?
I don't know. I think Ron. I think you had asked about something, and I looked up. I was going to look up Wetmore, and then I didn't get around to it. I guess the around to it's downstairs. Yeah, I bet the houses, Joanne, that have a lot of heat, you know, like not built the same. That was true in our North Carolina house. I have like no insulation. I was like freezing in the winter and it was only 40 degrees outside.
Yeah, like we don't have air conditioning. And it gets really hot. In the summer, it gets really hot in the house because of all the windows.
Yeah.
But luckily, you open them and it all goes outside at night. So.
Oh, Cassie's asking about our growing. No, we're way far away from germinating anything for outdoors.
Oh, okay.
But I am doing the hydroponics right now, so that's going. It's kind of an experiment. The basil's taken off, so we have so much basil right now. I could make a pesto out of it. But the other, like the lettuces, are taking a while, and maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I need to put more nutrients in. But they seem like they're kind of the same size.
They're nice and green.
They're nice and green.
Dark green.
So I have like a couple of romaine lettuces, and the kale's still like an inch tall. It just doesn't seem to really be taking off. But I don't know. It's a learning process. But it could be, if I got that going, it could be something that's fun to do in the winter. You know, since we have such a long winter, unless we do get a greenhouse that we could use and heat year round.
Yeah, we'd like to get one, and we're going to put it right down at the bottom of the hill there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, maybe that might make us more homesteady. You know, if we could get a greenhouse, we could actually grow food in it that saved us from buying groceries. I think that would be cool. We actually met folks up here that have a greenhouse, and I guess they were vegan. Remember the bed and breakfast that we stayed at?
Oh yeah.
The Airbnb, and they said they grow 70% of their food, and I was like, what? That was amazing. But I think you can. I think the possibility is definitely there if you have something that grows year round. It's such a short growing season, and the nights are so cold, you can't grow anything like peppers or tomatoes or even winter squash. I mean, that takes a long time to grow squash and melons and those kind of things. And we got 180 days if we're lucky, because it could frost in June, you know, crazy.
30 Celsius in Australia.
Wow.
Sunday lunchtime.
Well, it is summer there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Steve says, my bees were flying for the first time in 2 days, and he's going to put some sugar feed on mountain.
Okay.
Yeah. If we get some more warm day, if we get it's coming. I know we'll get a 50-degree day soon and sunny, so I can kind of peek in there or kind of lift them up and see how heavy the hives are. The other day it was 40 and sunny, and I saw a couple bees flying around. So at least one hive is alive still, but the other ones are a little bit, I think, smaller, and I hope they can make it till April or whenever I can get some feed on there.
Sparky got a Harvest Right freeze dryer.
Oh, I saw that at Ace Hardware. They had the freeze dryers, and I was like, that'd be really cool to have if you had a lot of stuff you could freeze dry. Looks like a cool product, but that'd be neat.
I had freeze dried ice cream when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. Astronaut ice cream, yeah. So, I think when you get the temperature swings, that's when you can really lose the bees. I do get nervous when it gets warm and they fly out, you know, because they land in the snow and then they die. There's nothing for them out here, just to go to the bathroom.
Joanne asked about my training. Yeah, we're gonna do some videos. Once I do most of my stuff right now indoors, so because it's too cold to ride outside, and I don't have a fat tire bike, so
yeah.
It's convenient to ride indoors as well, so I can just go downstairs. I don't like today. I spent an hour driving to the pool and an hour driving back, so that wastes a couple hours. So, but
taking the chicken out. This is the bacon wrapped chicken. I don't want it to roll, but let that cool a little bit. We cut into it. We give it another 10 minutes on the broccoli.
Rocky Top says, with a greenhouse, you're controlling the environment. Much for anything. Yeah, and with our exposure to the southeast, south, we should be able to do it pretty well. Yeah. So, and we put our hot tub in there as well.
What? It's already hot. But I think what we're trying to do is we're working towards more self-sustainability types of things. Where I don't think our goal is 100% self-sustainable. I think as we build the rest of the house, we still have a goal to build a second phase of the house, and we wanted to put in a root cellar or a wine cellar or whatever you want to call it, right?
Big dry pantry.
So definitely have ideas, but we're not going to be getting chickens. And we're not going to be getting
We
cows.
want to be traveling more too, so we don't want to have to be paying someone to come take care of our animals.
Yeah.
So we pay for Vigo's care, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, if he doesn't come with us. So I will videotape the Ironman event. I wish I could find some of the old footage from your half Ironmans, but I have a few kind of like, oh, go Brian, maybe it's on Facebook somewhere. I don't know. But so,
we have that picture downstairs.
The freeze dryer would be great on the fake homestead.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I saw? I was trying to figure out if we could do composting up here, and I actually thought we might be able to do it on the deck with one of those turnable ones. Be away from the bears. Yep. The bears couldn't break into it. But I saw that Vitamix, the ones that make the blender, make this like home composting system that dries and like pulverizes your compost from the kitchen. It's like $500. I feel that would go great on a fake homestead.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway,
I would love to have a bike with actually our Amy's dad has a fat tire bike.
He has two. He has one for you.
Yeah, but it's got actually studded fat tires, and so that would be perfect out here. Actually, I could easily ride around all the roads on here, but not on the trails, but on the roads for sure.
Yeah.
So.
So, all right, let's check out this broccoli. Let's see how it turned out. We did get the double oven when we purchased the oven. There's a bigger oven on the bottom. This one's nice because it heats up really fast. It's just you can only put in shallow pans. You can't really put a Dutch oven in there, but looking pretty good, folks. Okay, let's plate this up. So. Oh, I did put some minute rice in the microwave if you want some rice to go with it.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Got a long run tomorrow.
Minute rice. Not the healthy stuff, but.
Yeah, I don't know. What can you do with the freeze dryer? I mean,
with the freeze dryer, well, if you have just a lot of produce, I mean, you'd just be freeze drying it, and that way you don't have to put it in the freezer. You can just keep it in your cupboard.
Okay.
So fruits or veggies, tomatoes. It'd be great to add to soups and stews and things like that. So.
Yeah, if we had a compost outside, we'd have bears in it all the time.
Yeah, I think the coyotes would be over quite a bit more, and the
bears, the moose. Vigo would be working overtime to keep everything away.
Okay, here it goes.
Here we go.
So I'm cooking up a little bit more rice too, but bacon and bacon. We got bacon broccoli and bacon covered chicken stuffed with cheese. This is not really healthy for everybody. It's probably really high sodium too, but Brian needs it right now. He just sweat for like 3 hours today.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you lose sodium really fast. In fact, a lot of endurance athletes put sodium in their water bottles to punish them. I'm sure some of you have worked out enough that you see all that white caked on your shirt and shorts. That's all your sodium that you're losing.
So, what else? So you can freeze anything. Yeah. So soup, you can meats, eggs. So I don't remember what the price of was it that I saw at the Ace Hardware, but I did see one of those machines, a big freeze dry machine. It's cool. So shout out for Vigo. I know. Vigo and his barking.
Yeah.
It's his job.
He's looking at it. So last night we put a couple of pillows on his chair so he doesn't get on it. So that if he can't get on his chair, he can't look out the window, and then he can't bark at 5:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. So on the weekend. Yeah.
Except he was pacing and had to go out anyway this morning, but he keeps an eye out for the snowmobiler because he can see the trail, and there's always people snowmobiling on it in the afternoon. So he does that. But triathletes are crazy.
Heard that before.
No, I'm not going to argue that. So
power bars, yeah. They have little bags now you can put right on your top tube, so you just fill them up with all your gels and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you eat a lot of fake food. It goes along with your fake homesteading. Fake gels and fake power bars and fake drinks.
You just need energy, that's all.
Yeah.
Instant energy.
Okay, what else are we doing? Instead of being homesteady, we're not canning our food yet. Yeah. We're not starting a prepper pantry yet. We don't have any room for that. We're not growing all our own food.
We don't have an armory yet.
We don't have an armory. Yeah. We don't. But you do want to build that secret safe with like a mirror.
I am. Yeah, we're gonna have some.
I
like
don't
a
know.
little secret.
You must have a secret
safe room.
safe room.
Stay tuned in a few years.
Yeah, a few years. It's so cool. So we have tractor though, and I guess that gives us some legitimacy.
Yeah.
Fake fingernails. Yeah, right. Let's see. Working towards self-sustainability. Slower pace. Someday Brian's going to slow down, and he's not going to be running and racing his way through, and it'll be a slower pace. And so that's why we picked, mountain living. I think a lot of people are curious about what is it like to live in the mountains? Could we live up in Colorado? And I'll probably make another video. We have one about 1 year of living in Colorado and our reflections on it. But now we're almost 4 years in Colorado. So we're 3.5.
When we were visiting Jackson Hole, Wyoming over Labor Day weekend, they are the bed and breakfast we stayed at. They said that tons of people were moving to the mountains in Jackson just to get out of LA and California.
There was a big California exodus, I think, and a lot of people are looking at Wyoming and Colorado, and I think Colorado's been that state for a long time for California. But all them city people, yeah, we were city people. But I have to say, growing up in Vermont, I wasn't born a city person, and 25 years there, could say probably not really. I mean, I lived in the city and that was good, but I don't really feel like that's my place.
Yeah,
I think
you lived on 30 acres or something like that.
Yeah, so I kind of country life kind of person. So it feels more like home to be around in the woods, because that's just kind of how I grew up. So busy hooker from LaPorte area. Cool. Born and raised, lived in Colorado most of my life. I love to homestead like y'all. Yeah. I'd love to homestead too someday, but we're definitely not going to have farm animals. So bees is about as much as I can handle, because they take care of themselves pretty much. You just have to watch it. And people need to know you're not going to make tons and tons of honey up here, or the bees don't really. So if you're homesteading with bees or beekeeping up at 9,000 feet, you have to realize you've got this short little window, and you can probably make it work if they have enough to forage on. So this year I'm going to plant a lot more clover for them so they can have something else to forage on. And if you get a dry year and you're not irrigating, everything dies. And what are the bees going to eat? You're pretty much feeding them. And that's what happened last year. So we didn't get any honey because we had a dry year. So
yeah, that's why there was fires everywhere. Yep. Yep, very muggy. Let's see, Larry, shoot the ground and become an instant billionaire.
Yeah, we need to do some gold panning. Okay, rice is ready.
Yeah. Cool.
So apparently there's gold in the hills back here. There's a lot of gold mines in the private, of course, but.
Yeah, so where we live, this was probably the highest per capita gold in the Colorado state.
The
Gilpin County.
Central City, their moniker says the richest square mile on earth. So that's like the gambling city, but it's also was a mining city for gold for a long time. So dreaming of a Wallapini. I think I know what that is. Great for a hillside, but can be dug on a flat site. Lose less heat with that design. Yeah, it's some kind of like a green growing house kind of thing.
Okay.
I've heard of it. But I have to look it up again. You do get a breeze most of the time in the mountains, don't you, Steve? Yeah. So we definitely have our share of breezy days. Right now, it's really calm, and it's a shocker because it's been a windier year this winter than it has almost every winter we've been up here. So it's like the canoe blew down off the shelf. Like, I mean, I heard something crash in the night. I was like, what happened, But so let me see what else. Larry Mestis, shoot. And, oh, yeah, he said shoot in the ground. Coming to Idaho too. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people trying to.
That's where my race is, Idaho.
That's right.
Coeur
d'Alene, Idaho. Barb's country home. Bees. That's right. And the fires were, that last year, 32 years. here and have never seen it that bad, says the busy hooker.
Yeah.
So,
They're actually doing prescribed burning
they should.
just down the street.
Yeah. Well,
You think with all the fires, you could take a break.
they build up all these piles of brush or slash, and they wait until the middle of the winter, like now, to burn them up. So they just get rid of them that way.
Yeah, fire danger is listed as low right now.
Yeah. So, let's see.
Buckwheat for the bees.
Buckwheat for the bees. Okay. Increases antioxidants, rare seeds, or Baker Street seeds. Okay. So that might be, and I have a big bag of clover, but we're still looking for something we could cover on the septic area, because the last time we planted clover, all of the elk ate it all. They chowed it down to the ground.
Yeah,
So
the whole herd.
I think we attracted elk when we planted clover. We'll see what happens with the buckwheat, but we have a problem with wildlife. We can't really do the things that other people do on homesteads because of the kind of wildlife we have, unless we were to fence off our entire property. And I just don't really want to do that. Right.
Yeah.
So we've got bears to worry about for composting, coyotes, if we were to have chickens or something, we'd have coyotes and bobcats over here all the time, and mountain lions. Like, no. Moose, they come right up to our house. They're in the driveway. You've seen videos, and they've been in the driveway. You got to look outside.
You gotta wait for them to go out of the way.
They don't. Yeah, they take their time too. They just chow down and eating up all the bark. So.
Hi, Denver Sky. Cougars. Yeah, we haven't seen one here. I don't want to.
Yeah, people catch them on their game cams,
right.
And at night. But our neighbor, it looked like they got one. We saw the photo of it. You saw a long tail, right? But you couldn't really catch the dimensions. But you knew it was a cat and a long tail, and so that's like mountain lion, unless it was someone's cat.
One of the guys I worked with, he lives in Evergreen, and he had on his garage cam had a huge mountain lion walk past.
Yeah,
and he has 2 or 3 little kids.
Yeah. So people have told us about mountain lions up here. I've talked to folks on the road, and they said if you have small dogs and you let them out, the animals get to know your house, and they start to stalk it. And so there was a mountain lion that would stalk somebody's house that had small dogs, and the dogs got gone once. So that's the kind of stuff that we're dealing with. So it's not really the kind of farm friendly environment that you see in a lot of other homesteads where they got chickens and goats and all this kind of, I guess you could get donkeys, and they kind of scare away.
Right.
I don't know how they scare away the coyotes and the mountain lions, but so buckwheat for bees. If you leave a place where it isn't working, don't take those ways. Oh, okay. I'm catching up on some of the comments. Hello from down in Morrison. Nice. Denver Sky. Cougar, moose will just walk right through your fence. Yeah, they do.
They don't like I watched the moose put his nose on the electric fence around the beehive, and they didn't like that. They ran off.
It was a young moose too. I think yes. I felt sad because he
put his big nose.
They were eating the grass right up to the close to the fence, and they touched their face and they ran off. So I felt bad. Fences don't keep deer out unless you've got electric fencing, maybe. Yeah. Mm-hmm. People up here do have chickens, though. I don't know how they're doing it. We have friends that have chickens, but I'd rather buy the eggs. I don't really care about it that much, It's a lot of work for eggs. Because you either have your meat hens or your laying hens. I don't know. There's a couple different ways you can do birds.
But if we had something else, some greens and stuff like that, maybe we could just, trade it for eggs for somebody else. So.
I think there's really
ways to do that.
There's cool stuff going on here. There's people growing different things and a lot of people doing
one of our friends just over the ridge, they have chickens. So they had given us eggs once. So.
Mm-hmm. So there's people doing chickens, people doing alpacas, people doing llamas, all kinds of different stuff.
So I drive to Lafayette, Colorado, and it takes me a good hour and 5 minutes. So that's down Boulder Canyon. That's the fastest way to go. Mm-hmm. So downtown Denver, it'd probably take me about the same. I would go a different way. I'd go to Blackhawk or down Golden Gate Drive.
Yeah. Yeah, you could, Busy Hooker says they could shoot off the coyotes. We're so close to neighbors, we could never shoot anything here. Yeah. People are oh, watch out for your trespassers, get your guns. I'm if a bullet went the wrong way, the trail is 50 feet away from our house. You're not even allowed to shoot less than 500 feet off of the trail.
There actually is a shooting range up on the ridge to the south, and but they're shooting into the side of the mountain. So
yeah. How does broccoli turn out?
It's good.
So
You're welcome.
Denver Sky asked about the introduction of wolves. I think I voted for that. I think my understanding is that they're going to be in the northwestern side of Colorado, like really remote. And what I understand about wolves is that they're not the kind of animals that like go into the city. You know, they're pretty remote. They stay to themselves, and they used to be here. So I think it's going to help with some of the moose population, because I think as cool as the moose are, they are starting to get a little overpopulated, and they don't really give out permits for moose hunting. So I think there'll be some restoring of balance there, because moose were not native to Colorado. They were brought in here, and now they're overpopulated. And the only way they die is if they get hit by a car.
Yeah, I've had some friends that have been applying for moose permits for like 15 years, and they never get them. So, but apparently it's really tastes good. So one of the best meats out there.
I don't know if I could do that. I don't know. I have to really think about that. Up. Yeah. So, let's see. Meat birds didn't pay out when you do the math. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like it does. I don't know.
You just gotta like to have them, I think.
My parents had chickens for the longest time, and they just always kept dying, whether it was a weasel or a raccoon or a hawk was getting them. Like they kept losing their birds, like constantly losing them. So it's like, what do you? And I'd rather just go buy the eggs cheap, you know, buy them from somebody else. I'll pay more money, get some nice organic eggs from somebody local, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, so. You know, our address is Blackhawk, and we're about 20 minutes from actually Blackhawk, the town of Blackhawk. So there are lots all over the place. So, but yeah, real estate is expensive now. There's
lots right across the hill that I always show with the snow falling against it. There's a bunch of lots up on that ridge that are yet to be developed.
And they're big ones.
And they're big, yeah. And we know one of our viewers mentioned that they purchased a lot up there, and they're going to start building next. So I'm wondering, are we going to see a bunch of houses up there, or are they kind of on the other side of the view? But I think there's still a lot of development happening. When we were looking for property 4 or 5 years ago, we couldn't find anything. There wasn't a lot to choose from. Put it that way. There wasn't a lot to choose from. So,
meat birds with the rock root. Yeah.
So let's see what else. A donkey's better than a guard dog, and they will kick and kill the big cats. Okay,
oh, wow.
Got it. I knew that about donkeys, and I know someone in Colorado who's got a donkey. She's more of like in a ranch area on the western slope. But she's got goats and pigs and chickens. Yeah. And that is Mutiny Ranch. She also has a YouTube channel, the Mutiny Ranch channel on YouTube. Check her out. Doing cool stuff over there. So mountain lions and lynx on the property. There was an argument on our local Facebook page about people saying that there weren't such thing as lynx in Colorado, but I know that they were reintroduced. I think they're probably like one of those. You just don't see cats that much, you know, like as much as I've seen coyotes, bear, even we saw a bear last year, but never seen a cat on our property or a mountain lion. But evergreen, looking for evergreen lots, Blackhawk, alpaca. Okay, so they can defend from predators. Cool. Mice will get into the hen house. My sister had chickens, and she had rat problem, and she never had a rat problem before she had chickens. So it just seems like a gross thing. I don't want to have to. How many times am I going to say I don't want to do chickens? Brian wanted to do chickens for the longest. He was talking about chickens, and I was like, no, I don't want to. No, thanks. Meat birds was a rock group. That's funny. Yeah. This message is held for review. I just tuned into, I knew that about donkeys. That's funny. We're talking about livestock and how we're not homesteaders because we don't have any kind of livestock or meat birds or desire to get that kind of stuff. And that donkeys can be helpful because they can, detract from predators preying on your livestock, I suppose. So, whoops. Okay, you're trying to see that.
Nope.
Oh. One day I was taking care of my parents' place while they were away to gather eggs, and there was a big bull snake. I saw some snake skin this year, but I've only ever seen a snake one time, and it was like a garden snake. Like,
we don't have any big snakes here now.
Tiny.
You only have to go down to 6,000 feet, and you'll get rattlesnakes. And
yeah,
5,000.
Definitely do not have much for snakes up here. Not a lot of snake activity. I've never, compared to North Carolina, I used to see snakes all the time there, big, huge ones. But I don't really care. I'm not scared of snakes unless they're rattlers, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess I would be. I guess I would be. So, man, we're going late on this one. We're at 45 minutes. All right, guys. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up. I don't know if anyone's going to want to watch the replay because I guess we're having dinner and just chatting. But we're going to do another one. I guess you said your next day off is Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So we can do next Wednesday. We'll do another live stream, cook and chat. And welcome you guys. And thanks for joining in and chatting with us. It's been fun.
Always a pleasure.
Fun to answer questions and just chit chat about what we're doing over here. But really, we're just living the mountain lifestyle. That's kind of what we picked. So not necessarily working our butts off homesteading, but Brian definitely worked his butt off building a house for the last few years. And working his butt off doing triathlon stuff and just we want to live a creative lifestyle of our choice. And that's what we're doing up here in Colorado. So stick with us. If you haven't subscribed, if you're curious about our journey, we will keep posting videos on the process. So we'll check you next time, guys. Hopefully see you on Wednesday night. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
What's for dessert?
That's for dessert. Yeah.
Cookies.
Cookies.